Thomas Essen says the Staff of Ra Headpiece at Prop Store. We just did coverage of Prop Store's new auction, and in it was one of the original jewelers' crew gifts that made the headpiece of the Staff of Ra for the Raiders film. And it has some beautiful Easter eggs in it. And Thomas Essen wants to know, what is a prop that sees frequent replication? Wait. Oh, yeah. So sorry. What is a prop that sees frequent replication but surprises you in the general skew towards one version? So what Thomas is referring to is that in Raiders of the Lost Ark, there are actually two headpieces of the Staff of Ra. There is one in the Ravenswood bar in the beginning, and then when he's having a translator tell him what the inscription around the perimeter says, that is actually a different headpiece. No one has ever gotten to the full story of why they remade the headpiece mid-production, but almost every reproduction of the headpiece is the translator's version, not the Ravenswood bar version. So what they want to know is there another prop that skews towards a single version? And yeah, it is the endo hand. Because, look, the endo hand, the piece that ends up being the remnant from Terminator 1 that fuels the plot of Terminator 2. And we see young John Connor break into Cyberdyne and take the endo hand and throw it on the ground to pull it out of its cloche and take it with him. And that endo hand is magnificent. And the scene in which Arnold slices around his arm and up and pulls off the flesh to show the hand, and the way he makes this motion and you see the knuckles all settle, that is a magnificent piece of engineering, that endo hand. But it is a substantively, significantly, mechanically different build than the endo hand from the first Terminator movie. And recently, we went to Prop Store where they had an original all-metal endo hand from T1. I am not sure of its lineage. I don't know what shots it was made for. It was largely cast in aluminum. And I have not found pictures from the screen that tell me which one it is, guaranteed. But I did start going through all the reference material I had for the endo hand to discover that almost every bit of reference I have and that is out there and online is reference material from the second film's endo hand. And there's very little from the first film. And that excites me. I like exploring into untrammeled territory. And there are some people that have built STLs, 3D printable STLs of the T1 endo hand. They're not as accurate as I would like, but they are structurally quite similar. But that's a prop I'm definitely going to lean into this year at some point, is the endo hand. And it's funny, I didn't realize until I had seen this original that I wanted to make the original. I remember seeing Terminator with my dad in the theater when it came out. What is Terminator, 81? It's early 80s. So I was 14, 15 years old. And I specifically remember when Reese is fighting the T1, my dad laughing and going, "Oh man, he's a fighter," about Reese, about Kyle Reese. And those things stick with you sometimes when your parents say them. But it was really unique to me to go through my reference material and realize, I thought, well, I've got some T1 reference material and I've got some T2 reference material. Turns out, no, I didn't. I had almost zero T1 reference material. So I rented a version of Terminator 1 and grabbed some screenshots, and I'm slowly putting the structure of that endo hand into this noggin so I can make it. And then C2 Lawson asks a question to which there is also a Raiders of the Lost Ark answer. They want to know, are there any props that you love from a movie you don't really like? Oh, so many. So many. I think my favorite props from a movie that doesn't do much for me are the Sankara stones from the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Not to say that I don't like that movie, but Raiders, like Raiders is here. You can't see my hand because it's so important to my psyche. But Raiders is way up here. Temple of Doom is way down here, and Last Crusade is right over here somewhere. But the Sankara stones, which are the hero and narratively important Sankara stones, are translucent. They are amber. They are cracked. There are gold flakes in them. I know that the process of designing them involved adding enough MEK kicker to the polyester resin that they were made of that it expanded and heated it up too much during the casting to crack. That was all by design to get those cracks, and it is a tricky business, and everyone who replicates Sankara stones goes through this same iterative process. I think the Sankara stones are just gorgeous. They're every bit as compelling as a MacGuffin should be. Justin Schroeder says, are you planning to bid on any of the items coming up for auction at the prop store later this month, or would you rather make your own replicas? Mostly, I would rather make my own replicas, and for a few reasons. One is, I don't want to spend tons of my disposable income on expensive props. But mostly, it's that I like having things I can hand to people. I want an experience with every prop I have in the collection. And that experience is one of tactility and utility. And if I, spent tens of thousands of dollars on some specific costume part from a movie I loved, I'd still have to put that thing behind glass with a UV filter and make sure that it stays sacrosanct so that it lasts. Because again, this isn't something I own. It is something that I have purchased to be the steward of for a period of time, but I want it to go somewhere else when I am finished with whatever, the hobby or this mortal coil. And so, I feel that responsibility. I have several real props in my collection, real things from the movie, and I take good care of them. When I make my own endo hand, my specific take on the endo hand is I want the one I build to be floppy. I want it to feel like you've pulled it off the factory floor just after Sarah Connor gets away at the end of T1. That's the endo hand that I want. I want it greasy. I want a little blood on it. That's the one I want. No piece from the canon that was real could give me quite that satisfaction because I'd feel too delicate about it. I really would. So yeah, for the most part, I want to build my own replica. That being said, there is a specific prop that I am reaching out now to potentially spend some real money on. I'm not going to give away anything about it because it'll end up being a tested one-day build because I plan to turn this prop from a prop into a functional thing. It's going to be cool. But I've got to obtain it first. So I've reached out to Brandon because I think he knows who I should speak to. And this would, I think, end up being the most dough I've ever spent on a piece. And I'll be transparent about it when it comes up. But it's note that the first time I'm willing and thinking about spending real money on a prop, it's because I want to take it and turn it into a functional item. Yeah. So it holds to what I just said. The functionality is key to me. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.